Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode. Hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode of the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League prior week recap, future week forecast, evening talk show. I am your host, the Commish. Now, boys, last week we started the episode on a sappy, sad note. No need for that. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. Last week was fucking nuts. Last week, we're a 10-man league. You all know this. Last week, we had 4 upsets out of 5 matches. 4 upsets. I'm going to declare the week winner, the big winner of the week, was Dylan Kells. Dylan Kells, he had the top score of 126.68 points, beating Jordy, tonight's special guest, who will make an appearance here very shortly. He's eating pizza. By the way, if you ever need a pizza in 2 hours, just call Bellevue Papa John's. They'll order that pizza. Order it lickety split, 2 hours. It's right at your door. But back to the week 9 recap. Dylan Kells, 126.68 points, very impressive. Beats Jordy, who only put up 99.7. Dylan's team was led by Jalen Hurts. He put up 25.88. Jordy's high scorer was the Chargers defense. Never good when your defense is your high scorer. Jordy, dumbass. The second point margin largest upset, belonged to me, Tanner O'Hara. I put up 112.9 points. I beat Neil, even though no one saw it coming. Neil scored 97.12. I was led by C.J. Stroud, the rookie, Houston, Texas quarterback. He put up 46.8 points, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. What a play by me. Neil's high scorer was Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz put up 25 points. Not bad, but again, Dalton Schultz, that's your go-to guy. Good luck, pal. Our third game of the week, Meat. 111.32 points. Good showing from Meat. Beat Braden. God, Braden just can't get it. He can't get it figured out. Justin Jefferson being hurt really hurts his team. But Braden put up 102.46 points. It was a win of 8.86 points. That was the margin there. Meet Joey B. God, the Bengals are back, baby. The Bengals are back. Joey B led Meet to victory. 25.32 points last week. Braden had a better quarterback performance. His high scorer was Dak Prescott. He put up 31.36 points, but it wasn't enough to beat Meat. I've done that a time or two. All right, where were we? The fourth game of the week, the fourth biggest upset. Oh, I'm sorry. This was the one game that wasn't an upset. Bodie, you couldn't pull off the upset, and that makes you the dumbass of the week. Week 9 dumbass award goes to Matt Bodie. Nate Dogg, he put up 110.9 points, almost 111. Bodie, you were close, but no cigar. Bodie put up 106.22. This was interesting. Here's the high scorers in this matchup. Rashad White, running back, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, scored 25.9 points for Nate. Bodie's high scorer, Jake Ferguson, never heard of him. Tight end for the Cowboys, 18.6 points. Just pitiful shit from Bodie. And our last upset was Z-Pat over Corey. I really thought it was Corey's year. He's kind of sliding a little bit. That was a close one. That was the closest game of the week. A margin of 3.64 points. Z-Pat put up 94.68. Corey put up 91.04. Z-Pat was led by CeeDee Lamb, who put up 25.6 points. Corey was led by Austin Eckler, his workhorse, put up 20 points. Wasn't enough. So there we have it. Last week, week 9. Big winners, Dill, me, Meat, Nate, Zach. Losers, Jordy, Neil, Braden, Bodie, and Corey. Corey with the lowest score of the week, Dill with the highest. enough of the past. We're not living in the past. We're looking towards the future. Week 10. It's already week 10. It's only 14 weeks. We got 5 games left. Week 10 forecast. Corey facing off against Braden. Now, I'll say this. In week 10, if you trust the ESPN projections, we have 3 games projected to be decided by 1.5 points or less. Nail biters. Corey against Braden. Braden's projected to score 113. Corey's projected to win with 114.5. 1.5 point margin. That's close. Meat versus Dill. I love this matchup. Dill is projected to score 109. Meat 107.9. That's a margin of 1.1. That's a toss-up right there. Neil versus Jordy. Neil versus Jordy, as it stands right now, Jordy's projected to win 115.1. Neil's projected 107.2. Jordy with the projected 7.9 point win percentage. That's still pretty close. The biggest blowout or projected blowout of the week is Z-Pat versus Nate. Z-Pat projected to put up 117.3, looking like that could be the high score of the week, but who knows. And Nate, I will point out, Nate, current dumbass of the week. He only has 8 guys in his lineup. Nate, you get to play 9. Nate's looking like he could score 99 points. Now, that margin could shrink if he puts in another guy. I think his kicker's on bye. So, Nate, get yourself another kicker. And then we have the Commissioner's Choice Game of the Week. And I'm not just saying this because I'm in it. Me versus Bodie. The 2 worst guys in the league. Bottom of the standings. Bottom of the barrel. We face off. Loser takes over as shittiest record in the league. I'm projected 105.8. Bodie is projected 105.4. That's a margin of 0.4 points. Less than half a point. Bodie eats shit. I do think I'll win that game. I'm very confident. Bodie, if you want some side action, hit me up. I'll put up $20,000. 20 grand, Bodie? You want to go 20 grand, mano a mano, half point margin? I'll do it if you do it. That's the Week 10 forecast. Let's move on to the current standings projected playoff bracket. As it stands, the Keystone Division, this segment brought to you by Keystone Light. If it ain't Keystone, I ain't drinking it. That's a delicious beer. Keystone Division, brought to you by Keystone Light. We have atop the division, Neil, with a record of 6-3, 85% chance to make the playoffs. That's a borderline lock. Jordy, tonight's guest, he's sitting with a 5-4 record, an 82% chance to make the playoffs. Meat, the real dark horse of this season. I saw Meat's draft. I wasn't impressed. I should give him more props. Meat, I think you might be in the chat. Thanks for watching. Shout outs, Jared Gaylor. Jared Gaylor cheering on young Kells. Meat in the chat. Braden in the chat. His heart's broken after last week's performance. Meat sitting at 5-4. He's got a 60% chance to make the playoffs. Not bad. Dill, Dirty Dill Kells, sitting at 4-5, 1 game under 500. An even 50% chance to make the playoffs. A literal coin flip. These next 5 weeks, every game matters for Dill. For all of us, really. Braden. Man, Braden. Christian McCaffrey. Justin Jefferson. It's just not been enough. God, it's a shame. Unbelievable. Braden's sitting at 3-6 with a measly 31% chance to make the playoffs. Not looking likely, but anything's possible. Let's flip over to the Natty Division. I only drink Stones. Oh, shit. Paper towel me. Little spillage there. Got to respect the Center Street studio, live from beautiful Bellevue, Kentucky. Natty Division. Atop the Natty Division, we have a logjam. 3 separate guys sitting at 6 and 3. Those guys in order: first place Nate, second place Corey, third place Z-Pat. 6 and 3. That's a pretty good record. That's a respectable record. Nate and Corey both have 95% chances to make the playoffs. Some Keystone on me right there. That's nice. Nate and Corey, 95% chance to make the playoffs. Z-Pat, same record, 6 and 3, 96% chance to make the playoffs. If you look across the whole league, Zach's got the best playoff odds. Yet he's in third place in his own division. That's bizarre. Then at the bottom of the Natty Division, sitting at 2 and 7, you have Bodie and I. Bodeman and I, both 2 and 7, both have a 2% chance to make the playoffs. Playoffs? But last week, rather, I had 1%. So I'm doubling every week. And when I beat Bodie this week, could jump to 4%. I want to do a quick statistical review of this league. Statistical. If you look at this, blew my fucking mind. If you look at the most points for, you have Braden sitting at 3 and 6, the bottom of the Keystone Division. Yet he scored the most points at 122.6 points per week on average. You might be wondering, how can he score the most points every week and still be so abysmal? It's because he's giving up the most points. 124.2 points on average he's giving up. That's unbelievable. Get some defense, Braden. Too many points. Least points scored is Meat. Meat is scoring less than 100 points a week. 97.7 points per week Meat is scoring. Yet he sits at 5 and 4, above 500. Makes no sense. And least points given up is Corey. Corey's giving up 93.5 points per week on average. If you look at Braden's points allowed, compare it to Corey's points allowed, that's a difference of 30.7. It's a lot of points. Unbelievable. Braden, the luck is just, it's not on your side. Let's talk playoffs. Playoffs! After 9 weeks, the playoff standings, we're looking like Nate might get the 1 seed, which is going to earn him a bye. Neil could sneak in with the 2 seed. That would have our Natty champion, Keystone champion with the 1-2 seeds, both getting byes. The 3-6 matchup, as it currently stands, would be Corey versus Meat. Little family rivalry. Little cousinly feud. Brotherly love. Corey versus Meat. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. And the 4-5 matchup, my favorite matchup come playoff time. Z-Pat versus Jordy. Now that's a rivalry right there. That might be the thickest rivalry in Cheap Beer Fans Football League. Speaking of our potential 5 seed, Jordy Ponzer, it is my absolute pleasure as host of this show to introduce the first guest of all time. I'm hoping the first guest of many. Please join me in welcoming 2-time Lomparty champion, Lomparty Trophy champion, Jordy Ponzer. Hey, boy! Upstairs neighbor. I do have a neighbor upstairs. That's right. Jordy, thank you for joining me today.
Appreciate having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here on set.
Absolutely.
Beautiful Center Street studio. And Jordy, if I could, I'd love to pick your brain a little bit, ask you a couple questions.
Don't pick too much.
I've never won this league. I would love to, but I've never done it. You've done it twice. Tell me how it feels to have your name engraved on the Lomparty Trophy.
I tell you, it's nice. It is. It's absolutely nice.
Nice.
I mean, it's very nice. 2 years running in a row.
Nice. You did go back to back.
Back to back. First 2 years.
First 2 years, I do remember that. Back to back.
And just to hoist that trophy is just
It meant a lot to you?
like Simba.
Ooh. You Simba'd it.
Simba.
Did it mean more to you to get the prize money or the trophy in the bragging rights?
The trophy.
But the prize money was nice.
Prize money was nice.
But the trophy meant more.
I kept the trophy for like 3 years.
You did keep it for 3 years.
I only wanted 2, but I kept it for 3.
I think that was a Meat issue.
It might have
I
been.
don't think he engraved it. Which, by the way, Meat, engrave. Oh, whoa, we have a comment from Z-Pat. Molester stash.
That's terrible.
Bodie, have you, Jordy, have you thought about shaving?
I shaved before I got over here.
This is what you did?
Yeah, I just trimmed it up a little bit on the neck.
Interesting.
I got to keep this.
Interesting. Next question. Who? This might come into play. Z-Pat's comment here. Who is your favorite person in the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League to beat in just a regular weekly matchup? Who do you really try and bring your A game? As Newt joins us. Newt, come here, bud. Ladies and gentlemen, Newt, the official mascot of the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League, Newt.
I'd have to say Zach.
Zach's your favorite person to beat.
I love beating his ass, man.
And why is that?
Because it happens so often. I sent the picture the other day of the text.
You beat him often?
Oh, 12 times we've played.
12 times you played.
9 victories.
You're 9-3.
9-3.
Wow. Have you played this year?
9 victories.
9 victories.
And it's going to be 10 this week.
You play him this week.
This week.
You do play him this week.
We're in for a show.
You don't play him this week.
I thought I did.
You play Neil. Zach plays Nate.
Okay, I was mistaken. My fault. But we will play again.
Win streak. Zach says win streak. Zach must have a current win streak on you.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think it's
I
true?
could look at that, but I
Let's
don't think
not
that's true.
get phones involved. We're on
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't remember him beating you this year.
I don't.
All right, I don't either. So maybe it didn't happen. It's true, bud. And Meat has confirmed that the trophy is engraved. It will be going to Bodie next week, live on air. Next week, live guest, Bodie. Well, Bodie's his last name. Matt Bodie. Special guest appearance by Meat, I'm hoping. But enough about next week. We're in this week, and our guest is two-time Lomparty Trophy champion, JORDY Ponzer.
Can you say that one more time?
Two-time Lomparty Trophy champion, JORDY Ponzer.
How many times has Zach won it?
Zach, answer in the chat. How many times have you won it?
What about Braden and Bodie? Or Bodie's won it once.
Bodie has
Tanner,
won once.
my man. I'm sorry, 0 times.
I've won 0 times. Enough about the Lomparty. Let's get to our next question here. I'm going to call this segment Rank Your Draft.
I had a good one.
Jordy, I want you to be honest. I want you to legitimately rank the first 5 rounds of your draft. This year's draft, in round 1, you took Travis Kelce. Now, after 9 weeks, he is tight end number 1. And he's dating Taylor Swift. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
He's dating Taylor Swift.
I didn't know that.
He is.
When did that happen?
Who gives a shit? Travis Kelce, you took him in round 1. Honestly, how do you rank that?
That's a smart pick. I mean, he's the number 1 tight end.
Give me a letter grade.
I knew Dylan was wanting.
So you took him before Dill.
Dylan was one. He even said it. He's like, if Kelsey's there at 7, I'm taking him.
Give it
All the while
Give it a letter grade.
of the pick.
Yes.
Oh, it's got to be an A+.
You give that an A+.
A+.
I'm going to give my letter grade as well. I give it an A-. And I'll tell you why. It's not a bad pick, but I can't give an A. I can't give an A or better to a tight end in round 1. I just can't. But it's not a bad pick. I give it an A minus. You go legitimate A plus.
I think he's the best tight end in the last 20 years.
Better than Gronk.
I think he's better than Gronk. Yeah.
Better than Gronk. What a fucking dumbass.
Better than Gronk. Gronk's dominant.
In round 2, this is a fun trivia fact that I found in my research. In round 2, round 1 you took Travis Kelce.
Yes, sir.
Round 2 you took Travis Etienne.
Yes.
Both named Travis.
Right.
Can you guess how many active NFL players are named Travis? Travis is a very
I'm going to say
unathletic sounding name.
I'm going to say 21 Travises.
There are 6.
I was way off.
You drafted 1/3 of the Travises in the league with your first 2 picks.
Smart move.
Travis Etienne, he's currently sitting at running back 3. You got him in round 2. How do you grade that pick?
I think that's a good A. An A.
I think it's an A plus. You got running back 3 in round 2. That's an unbelievable
Yeah, but
pick.
like I said before, I could have gotten him as my keeper.
You could have kept him.
I could have kept him. And I drafted him in round 14, 13, something like that.
You would have got him in the teens.
I could have had him the next 10 years. He could have been living with me.
Nonetheless, still a great pick.
Great pick.
And by the way, I should say, the chat, if anyone has a question for Jordy, now would be the time to bring it up during the interview the guest segment. So if anybody wants to ask anything to Jordy, feel free to throw in the chat. I'll monitor.
Might I add, I did play the Panthers defense tonight on a whim.
It is Thursday Night Football. We have Bears versus Panthers. The shittiest game of the season on Thursday night. Looks like it might have just kicked off. I thought it was 8:20. Is it already 8:20? Holy shit, it's 8:22. Back to the questions for Jordy. Jamar Chase, you took him round 3 as your keeper. Jamar Chase, after 9 weeks, wide receiver 8. How do you rank that pick?
I like that pick.
How do you rank it?
I think it's an A.
You think it's an A?
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong with Jamar Chase?
I agree. Top 10 receiver, as it currently stands. Top 10 receiver, you got him round 3. He's on a potent offense that looks like it's starting to click. Could only get better.
Let's be honest, though. The first 2 weeks didn't count for him.
Really didn't count.
Joe Burrow was not healthy.
First 3 weeks.
Maybe
4.
The first 2 weeks, he got single digits.
That's bad.
Yeah. I could go out there and get single digits.
Round 4. Well, actually, before we grade the next round, I'm going to answer a question from the chat here. Jordan, what do you think the key to winning the league twice is, other than getting lucky as hell? I like that question too, because do you think it's the draft? Are you heavy on the waivers?
Oh, it's definitely the waiver.
The waivers.
The waivers is where it's at. I'm on the waivers. I'm changing at least 4 players on my lineup each week.
Each week you're hitting the waiver 4 times,
if not more.
Really?
Yeah.
But that would make me think that your players suck ass if you have to go to the waivers 4 times a week.
Well,
but I've never won. You've won twice.
Right. That is right.
All right. Interesting.
And like Zach stated, I got lucky as hell.
Luck helps.
Luck helps.
Better to be
on
lucky
the waivers. I'm not saying the championship for lucky. That is strategy. As I named myself, Mr. GM.
Mr. GM, that's where it comes from.
Mr. GM. I mean, I just
consider yourself the best GM in the league.
Absolutely, hands down. Not one person in this league could touch me as a GM in fantasy football.
Speaking of Jordan's great GM skills, Jordan, in round 4, you drafted Justin Fields. Now, after 9 weeks, I think he's not playing tonight. He's hurt. After 9 weeks, he's quarterback 21. In our league, you start 1 quarterback. So in theory, only quarterbacks 1 through 10 matter. Now, if we started 2 quarterbacks, then I could see how you could argue quarterbacks 1 through 20 would matter. But even then, Justin Fields would not matter because he'd be quarterback 21. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So, how would you rank that pick? How would you grade it? And let me just clarify this. Can you guess who the next two quarterbacks off the draft board were?
I cannot guess who they were.
After you took Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson was taken, quarterback 5, and then Justin Herbert, quarterback 8. Have you heard of them?
I have.
So why didn't you pick them?
That's a good question.
So I would give that an F minus.
I don't know what I was thinking there.
Justin Fields is a terrible pick.
But yeah, but last year he ended the season with like 40 points in 6 games.
Last year. So I give it an F minus. What do you give it?
I'm gonna say it's a pretty shitty D.
A shitty D.
A shitty D.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Shitty D.
Shit D.
All right, in round 5, could you guess who you picked in round 5?
I'm gonna say DeAndre Hopkins.
That's correct. Currently sitting at wide receiver 22.
Yes.
Will Levis is chucking in the ball. Go Cats.
He's gonna be the savior.
You think he's good? You like Will Levis?
I think Will Levis is gonna
help DeAndre
very much. Yes.
So you think he's only going to improve off of his wide receiver 22 ranking?
Yes. He will end at the wide receiver 15.
Top 15 receiver.
Top 15.
So how would you grade that in round 5?
I'd say that's a C minus.
C minus. Top 15 receiver in round 5.
Yeah, well,
I'd give that a B plus.
I'm not very optimistic about it.
All right, fair enough. All right, that ends our segment as far as ranking your draft. I do have a couple more questions for Jordy. Jordy, in your honest opinion, who do you think has the best chance to win the Lomparty this year?
I think Corey's got a good shot.
Corey's got a good shot.
Let's hope that don't happen because that would embarrass the league.
You don't want to see Corey win.
I mean, I didn't even know he knew what football was.
He's currently the projected 3 seed. Would you like his chances?
I like his chances. Yeah.
Do you think there's a good chance?
Nate's got a good team.
Nate's projected 1 seed.
Nate's got a good team.
Nate's got a good team.
Corey, and it was me, not me. Who's the third? Who's the top 3? Corey.
Top 3 seeds are projected to be Nate, Neil, Corey, Z-Pat, Jordy.
Zach's going on a losing streak. He's going to lose 4 in a row, and he's not going to make the playoffs.
You don't think Zach makes the playoffs?
We can only hope.
As of right now, he has a 96% chance. So you think the 4% chance hits?
It's going to hit.
And you think he does not make the playoffs?
He does not make the playoffs. And if he does, he's a first-round bouncer.
Corey says, I always knew I hated Jordy. Is it safe to say that the feeling is mutual?
I like Corey.
You like Corey?
I like Corey.
But he hates you.
Well, a lot of people do.
Ain't that the truth?
There's a long line.
Next question. Where would you like to draft next year?
Vegas.
Oh, we're watching Thursday Night Football. It looks like the Bears just punted. Who would have guessed? Oh, the Panthers punted. Wow.
I would like to go to Vegas and do it.
Nothing like a nice punt on Thursday Night Football.
Well, they down to the 1. I needed that.
Fucking terrible.
Sack in the end zone.
You'd like to go to Vegas.
Vegas. Let's do it in Vegas.
Vegas. Anybody in the chat? How do we feel about Vegas? That sounds expensive.
Oh, well, absolutely. We'd have to wait a couple years to do that.
Well, what about next year? Where would you like to draft?
Next year, I don't know. I really like the lake idea again.
Back on the houseboat?
Well, if Bodie is able to swing that, but just any lake, I mean.
Matt Bodie brings up a really good question. Jordy, can you sell some baseball cards and take us all to Vegas?
I don't have baseball cards.
What kind of cards do you have?
Football
cards. So you'd like to draft on Bodie's parents' houseboat yet again? That was fun.
That was a blast.
That was fun. Did you drink any alcohol down there?
I think I did for maybe 20 minutes.
What did you drink?
There's a couple of Twisted Teas, probably.
Twisted Tea. Shout out Corey Stoll, baby.
No, me and Dylan did a couple shots of
Twisted Tea?
some vodkas.
Some vodka shots?
Vodka shots.
Drink a whiskey drink? You drink a vodka drink.
I can't drink whiskey.
Interesting.
Cannot drink whiskey.
This is the last question I had for you. In chat, please feel free. Jump in, ask a question or two. This is the last one I got for Jordy. And I'm going to ask this question to everyone who may appear on the show in the future. We know what the winner of the league gets. You get the prize money. You get the bragging rights. You get the Lomparty Trophy at your house, in your possession for a year, except for Bodie. Still hasn't got it. You get your name engraved. It'll be there forever. What should happen to the loser? Do you have any good punishment ideas? Something that could actually be done. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Something that could actually happen. Something that if it was proposed and you lost, you would be like, okay, I'll do it. Would you shave your head?
I would not shave my head.
Would you pierce your belly button?
No.
No one would know.
No way. Not a chance.
Would you? What should it be?
I'm trying to think a little bit. I was trying to think about this earlier, and I just couldn't come up with anything. But
So your answer is no comment.
no comment.
Your answer is no comment.
Yeah, I think other people in this group would have a better idea than I would.
Fair enough.
Just don't get it from Zach.
You don't want to take Zach's.
No.
Okay.
His ideas suck. Just like his golf game and his fantasy team.
So you think Zach sucks at coming up with punishments, playing fantasy football, and golfing?
And golfing.
Interesting. Let's see what we got here. The loser should have to go trick-or-treating 6 to 8 in a swimsuit. I don't hate that. Meat gives us, is that the winning lottery numbers?
I wish.
6, 12, 18, 24. Meat, are you doing math homework? Meat, is this a Billy Madison? Are you back in like 3rd grade or something? You're asking, are you doing times tables? Meat, I don't understand what that means. Jordy, let's commentate this next drive and then we'll call it an episode. Boys, Bears, Panthers. Bears have the ball, 3rd and 2.
Get it.
It's a pass. Oh, it's first down. First down for the Bears.
Some dumbass picked up Panthers defense too.
Panthers defense.
1-7.
You know what?
And I picked up the Panthers defense.
I don't like the thought of us commentating on this.
I don't either.
I think the content's run its course. What do you
Jim Nantz
say?
does better.
We end the episode, drink a beer or two, eat some pizza, watch the game, call it a show.
I like it.
Hey, thanks for being my first
I appreciate
guest.
you having me, buddy. Yes,
It
thank you. I
really
do.
meant a lot to me.
I really do like it.
Me, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the 2nd ever episode of the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League Prior Week Recap, Future Week Forecast, Evening Talk Show. I've been your host, Kamish.
And I've been your guest.
You've seen our guest, Jordy Ponzer. You know him, you love him, maybe you hate him. I know I do. Meat's talking about jerking off, running beers, drinking donuts. Meat, unbelievable. Newt, you seeing this? He's a dumbass. Next week's episode will air on Thursday. Give me a little feedback. Did you like the live aspect? Shout out to Z-Pat. I never even thought of doing it live, but this has been fun for me. If you guys liked live, we'll do it again. Otherwise, we'll record it and post it for everyone to watch. Next week, do it again, Ho. All right. Decals, hit me up. I want to get you booked on the show. Next week, I'm hoping we're going to have Bodie as the official guest on the show. The reigning champion of the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League. We're going to have Meat deliver the trophy live on air. That's going to be a special moment. I might shed a tear. But I also want to just say that next week, Thursday night, in case you don't know, Bengals Ravens. Huge fucking game. Huge game. Not only for the division, not only for the conference, for the whole league. Winner of that game could win the Super Bowl for all we know. So Bodie's going to be here. Oh my God, we have a touchdown. Oh, flag. No, I think it's coming back. Who is that? Is that Juju? Did I see Smith-Schuster? Does he play for the Panthers? I don't know who the fuck that was, but touchdown, it's coming back.
If it comes back, I'll die.
What I was saying, next week we're going to have Bodie here. I'm hopeful we're going to have Meat here. Meat, don't cancel on us. Deliver that trophy. You owe it to us. But I want to extend the invite to everybody. I'll order a pizza. Papa John's will have it here in 2 hours or less. I'll get a case of beer. Let's watch the Bengals game, baby. Joey B. Jamar Chase. Z-Pat's going to be there. Z-Pat's coming. Jordy, you want to come back next week? Jordy's coming back. We got me, Newt, Z-Pat, Bodie, Jordy, Meat. Meat's definitely coming. Bringing the trophy. Poker. That's a great idea. You want to play some poker next week? Watch the game?
Yeah, I'm down.
Next week. Let's do it big, boys. Bengals, Ravens. Meat too. Now, is that me too, or you're saying meat too? I'd love if Corey came. I'd love if Braden came. Neil, Nate, Dylan, you're out there in the chat. Where are you watching? You watching the Jareds? Bring Jared. Let's get this place rocking like the jungle, baby. Boys, this has been the episode. Take care of yourself, and as always, eat shit, dickweeds. See you next week. Oh, I hit end and it doesn't end immediately, and now I look like a dumbass.